Hello, everyone. Those of you that have been following me notice that there is something different about my appearance. And if you've been following me on socials, on Insta or Facebook or whatever, under Lyme into Coconut or under my personal social media on Facebook, you know that 2 weeks ago I did shave my head. I have been going through some insane hair loss since I started Disulfiram and even before that because I had to shave my head last year. And excuse me, I'm gonna be eating my muffin while I'm talking to you guys because it's like 2 hours later than I wanted to take my meds. So I gotta get this in right now. Um so Disulfiram was making my hair really thin and just brittle and falling out in huge chunks. I did try to do biotin, and then I realized that biotin takes like a month, 1 to 3 months to really build up in your system so that you start feeling the effects and seeing the effects with your hair loss. And sometimes it doesn't work. So, yeah, it sucks. But you know what? I feel so much better without my hair. Um, it's just easier. I don't have to mess with my hair style for the day. I don't have to brush it. I don't have to wash it. I mean, I wash my head when I take a shower, but like when you have hair and you go through these periods where your hair just doesn't want to cooperate, and then you end up having to wash it every day because you're styling it. And if you don't wash it every day, then your scalp gets really oily and itchy and gunky and gross. And so I'm just tired of fighting with it. I still have a lot of dry patches on my scalp, but it is getting a little bit better. I've been treating my scalp with warm coconut oil after I take a shower. And then once a week, I do like a heavy, like salve type deal all over the top of my head that has like buckthorn root and shea butter and CBD and some other stuff that's supposed to help heal the skin on my scalp. So that's a really good thing to have. And I hope that when Disulfiram is done, that my hair grows back in healthy. But if it doesn't and I end up staying bald, I'm okay with that too. I have a wig. I don't wear it. I find that it's itchy. It's hot. It's itchy. It's itchy. It's too much for me. So I don't wear it. I live in a really hot climate. It's not cold enough to wear a wig all the time, even in the winter. Um, so for me, it doesn't work. Um, my blood count is still good and normal. I'm getting my blood work done every 2 weeks. My white blood cell count is still elevated, but it's been that way because of the viral infections that we're fighting. And it's been that way for over 2 years since I started treatment and way before treatment. So they're still keeping an eye on that. But in terms of like liver and kidney function, we're okay there. My blood pressure is normal, which is weird. It's actually low normal. Normally I'm like testing high in like the 140 over 90 area, and lately it's been like 115 over 70, 115 over 80. So my doctors are really happy with that. My speech is still really good, having more days of that improving. I notice that the days that I'm not big on my detox, like I'm not being really diligent on my detox, that's when I start to slip. So for me, I think even after Disulfiram, even after Lyme treatment, that I'm going to be doing colon hydrotherapy and daily coffee enemas at home to move that die off out, because seriously, it has changed my life from day and night, one day to the next regarding my treatment. So we are still plugging along. Originally, I was going to only be on Disulfiram for 6 months, and I was going to be done with Disulfiram for Lyme probably like November, December. I met with my Lyme doctor last week. He said that because of the severe anxiety, depression, neuropathy, and the other things that are going on, we're just going to maintain the 325 milligram dose and extend the treatment out for a few more months. It's not exactly what I wanted to hear. He kind of told me a little bit about this at the previous appointment a few months ago, but I was really hoping that I would have done a little bit better, that I didn't have to go and extend my treatment out. So now we're looking at probably by spring of 2021 next year, maybe by March, we'll see where things are at that point, and hopefully, I'll continue to just keep being in a better space that we can wrap up this portion of the treatment. We also found out at last week's appointment that I'm positive for Bartonella, where I wasn't positive for that before. We're finding that Disulfiram is really pissing off a lot of the co-infections in my body that weren't coming up positive before, and now they're coming up through the woodwork. That these bacterias, these co-infections, they are still very much alive and doing well and running around my body causing a hot mess. So it sucks, but we're treading on. I've gone through the last 2 years of treatment thus far with far worse days than what I'm experiencing now. So I'm incredibly thankful for that. Mental health wise, I'm really struggling. I'm just going to be honest with you. I'm really struggling in that space. Those of you that haven't started Disulfiram for Lyme yet, if you're on the fence of wondering if this is right for you, things to look out for, I'm sure that you've already heard from most people out there, but this medication is a hell of a drug, and it stirs up the mental and emotional side of neuro Lyme. It's been the hardest fight thus far of my treatment, getting through the mental aspect of it, getting through the hard days where my brain is turning on me, making me feel things or interpret things the wrong way. I'm also going through some pretty intensive trauma therapy with my therapist through this process, which has been more, I bit off way more than I could chew in this regard, doing both at the same time. But we're starting to make a little bit of progress where it's like, the ball is already rolling. There's no way to go back now, and the only way to get out is to go through it. So as hard as it is on days when I'm having flashbacks or amnesia or disassociation because my brain is just not equipped to remember certain things, and as I'm going through this and my brain is starting to clear out and I'm starving my body of sugars and carbs and salts, my brain is actually starting to remember things that it wouldn't have otherwise remembered before. A lot of that does come from the trauma therapy that I'm doing, but a lot of it also comes from the detox of sugar in the body. When your body detoxes of sugar, and especially the brain, you're opening up synapses and pathways that were blocked off before because of these chemical reactions that happen when you eat sugar, or like white flour, the inflammation response. So I'm going to keep going with it, but it's something that I have to tread very lightly on because I have more days than not where I'm completely checked out mentally. I'm gone. I'm somewhere else. I've been having blackouts and, coming to in places that are kind of weird, not like outside of my house, but like, in my house, there's a certain area of the house that I don't go into because it's where we store all of our chemicals, chemical cleaners that we had before I started Disulfiram. It's got, all the hairspray and cologne and body washes and lotions and things like that are really high chemical, high scented, whatever. And I have come to going into that part of the house that I'm not supposed to be in. So it's just little things like that. And I don't think that that has anything to do with the Disulfiram. I'm kind of digressing a little bit. It's just a lot going through the physical aspect of Disulfiram and the mental aspect of trying to heal from trauma and the neuro side of Lyme. Because anyone that has Lyme that's going through treatment, you guys are familiar with Lyme rage. You guys are familiar with, crying for months on end because your brain is detoxing or herxing or whatever. And I'm kind of like in this limbo space where if you give me just enough of a push on that edge, I will fall into the void. So my only advice in this space is that if you are going to start Disulfiram, if you don't have a good support system in place in terms of like friends, family, that one person that you can call at 3 o'clock in the morning when your brain is on fire and you can't fucking take it anymore, if you don't have something like that, it would be really beneficial for you to see a therapist while going through Disulfiram, even if you don't have trauma, even if you think you're going to be okay. I think personally, for me, having a therapist on board to be able to talk about when I'm feeling irrational. The first few months of my treatment, I just cried and cried and cried. I mean, like the first month, that's all I did. I would literally just walk around crying all day long, and my husband had no idea how to help me. So, and if he wasn't there, if I didn't have my therapist, if I didn't have my best friend of 20 years that I could call whenever and say, hey, dude, I'm having a problem. I need you to come over and just sit with me. If I didn't have that, I would have been much worse off. So I'm just telling you from my own personal experience, Disulfiram is a beast. It rips apart the entire emotional structure of your brain. If your brain is built like mine and you've spent an entire lifetime trying to forget things that have happened to you, you could very well remember them, especially because Disulfiram is such an intensive protocol with an intensive diet program that requires you to really limit your dairy and your sugars and your carbs. So anyway, all in all, we're just keep on keeping on. The hard days suck, and on those days you'll see me go really quiet. It's probably been a few weeks where I've been up and down, and when I get in this out of control feeling, I will turn away, I will shut down, I will disconnect, and try to regain my sense of self before I try to talk to anyone else again. So if you don't see me online, I am here. I'm on Messenger. If you have my phone number, text me. I am here for you no matter what. And I will do my very best to answer questions and be, that support if you need it. But, just send me a message if you don't see that I'm online, because I'm just usually not feeling up for sharing myself with the rest of the world at that time, but I will always be there for you as a friend. So anyway, that's my update. I will try to be a little bit more diligent with my updates going forward. I was really good for, the first few months, and then all of this depression and mental health shit is just taking me away from really everything. So I'm working to get myself back to center and keeping myself grounded. And to all the people out there that have been messaging me, that haven't given up on me, that love me despite all the shit that I'm going through, I just want to say thank you. I love you guys, and I wouldn't be here without your love and your support. So that's my update. I hope everyone's doing well. Bye.